does it feel to live in a post I saw Beyonce live world?
Oh man, it feels pretty good. I mean, listen, I feel like maybe you are looking for a little bit more out of this than I am. It was a fantastic time. It was a fantastic concert. She's very talented. One of the best concerts that I've ever been to. One of the best 3 hours that I've spent. I think
Mhm.
anywhere in open space. I'd say in open space, 3 hours. Yeah, pretty good. It was fantastic. I highly recommend it to everybody.
Yeah, of course. Like she's not your Bruce.
She's not my Bruce, but is she your Bruce?
She's not my Bruce. Adele
Who is
was
your
my
Bruce?
Bruce.
Oh, that's right.
Um,
Pick the white one. All right. Bruce is white also.
yeah. Look at us being like Beyonce is good, but is she like Adele or Bruce Springsteen? I don't think so. No, I have to say she
Hmm.
was not my Bruce, but
Hmm.
I, as you know, am going again today. So I fear that
Uh-huh.
we are encroaching in like not just Bruce, but like I might become like a deadhead for Beyonce.
You think you just follow her around, go to different concerts?
Like I can't explain this.
Hmm.
Okay. So listen, we don't have a lot to discuss. I like looked at what's going on. I'm like, okay, Elon Musk allegedly left the Trump administration. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Well, he has all of our data, so it doesn't matter. Okay.
Hmm.
Anyway, who cares? That's going on. Like people are coming, there's more and more people who are finally understanding that there's a Palestinian genocide happening. Like there's those things that are going on, which I
Yeah,
would say, huh?
the world's on fire.
The world's on fire. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm still coming down from a Beyonce high because we saw her on Sunday night at MetLife Stadium.
Hmm.
Now, we did have floor seats. You're taller than me. Were you able to see more?
I'm taller than you. I'm not taller than the women that were standing in front of us. So there was one of the ladies was like 5'10", 5'11". I was able to angle myself,
Yeah.
go around. So yes, I did see a whole lot of it. I think I relied on the screen a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
but there were a few times when she walked right in
oh
our
yeah,
section, and I was like,
oh
"Oh
yeah,
my god!" And then of course the horseshoe, and then of course the car.
yeah. Beyonce in person, like seeing her as an actual human being, you go, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah,
She's just breathtakingly gorgeous. And
yeah,
you go, oh, wait, I expected you to look worse in person, but you look better.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
I can't stop staring at you. And then just seeing you walk by makes me feel things. It's not even just like pure horniness, although that's a part of it, because she is so gorgeous. And also, like, there was a lot of, I mean, in terms of my review of this concert is there was a lot of ass
yeah,
and it
which
was
was perfect.
glorious, glorious. Everybody out, different shapes, different sizes, different ethnicities. Ass was out, different genders.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Yeah.
ass was out, and it was celebrated.
Hmm.
So there was a sense of that, of just like joyful horniness in
Yeah.
the air, not dangerous,
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
celebration of
Yeah.
horniness. All that stuff was happening. You see Beyonce, she is gorgeous, and you go, okay, no, I get it. You're you for a reason.
Yeah. And then she starts singing.
Yeah.
And then there's a few times that there's no music, it's just her. And you're like, oh, the mic has been on and on, like really on this whole time. There's a portion of the show where she's on a horseshoe. And in my opinion, it was going too fast. I was like, hey, how about we slow down that
How
horseshoe?
about you? Yeah, exactly.
We're going to lose a Beyonce. Okay. But that thing was swanging around the arena, and she was singing with a capital H. I mean, a capital A.
Now, when that horseshoe was swinging around the arena and it was going at high speeds, in your mind, were you also like, "Hey, if she falls, maybe I catch her. Maybe that's her meet cute."
No, I didn't think that, but I know you were thinking it because you were
The
under the
entire
impression.
time, I was like, "Here she comes," and I was like looking at the trajectory. Remember on Traders when they had to like drop those things in the fire?
Yeah.
So you go, how fast does she have to be going, and how far away does she have to be for her to fall right into my lap? Didn't happen.
Yeah, or your arms because you were standing, so it wouldn't be in your lap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but you know what? The 5'10" women in front of you would catch them instead, catch her
yeah,
instead.
because they were more like, they knew all the words and everything like that to
No, and
bring you the
also they
dance.
were taller. So like physics wise, it would just
That's true, but they'd get out of the way because they're women.
ah! How dare you? I did stand up on the chair a few times and they got yelled at and I just kept doing it anyway. I was like, I'm gonna stand on
Yeah.
the chair and then they'd be like, you need to get down. And I was like, there's nobody behind me. And they were like, we don't want you to get hurt.
Hmm.
I didn't
Yeah.
care. I didn't care. I still stood up many times. Now I am going again tonight
Hmm.
with friend of the pod, Sonia Marie Seld. You might know her as No Chillery Banks on Threads and Twitter and Instagram. You may have heard her on our episodes discussing The Crown and that Mary Kay Letourneau movie, and then a few episodes of Bravo episodes. But yeah, she and I just convinced each other. We were like, this feels like a good amount of YOLOing. Like, do I feel that this type of YOLOing will have repercussions?
Hmm.
Sure. But it's not like I'm getting a tramp stamp tattoo. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
seeing Beyonce a second time, and this time in a different area. So I'm seeing her in the 100 seats where I'll be able to see the whole stage.
so like today, when you talk about in terms of YOLOing, right? It is a Thursday. Kids do have school in the morning,
I have a
I believe.
husband,
You have
children, a mortgage, job.
Yes, you do have work in the morning. Now, our experience on Sunday night was really nice because it took us roughly 5 minutes to get out of the stadium and right back onto the highway, right?
Yeah.
So I think that probably colors your decision making a little bit. You're like, hey, if that's the type of thing, I'll be home by like 11:30. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 11:30 on a Thursday night. Yeah, you do it.
So you do a line of Coke before breakfast the next day and then you're fine. So
You do a
what?
line you do a line of coke at the concert, then you do heroin to fall asleep at night, and then in the morning as a pick me up, you do a little bit of coke with a little bit of coffee.
Is heroin a downer?
I do believe it puts you to sleep. I think it makes you feel real nice, and then
Hmm.
you pass out. And then in certain instances, really rarely, you die because
But of course, of course, of course.
I think those things are called overdoses.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just casual. Anyway, I'm just really excited because I think she's incredible. I
Mm.
can't believe that it took me this many years to get to a Beyonce concert. I'm
Yeah.
disappointed in myself for not doing
Mhm.
that. I'm upset that I didn't see Renaissance last year, but she did do some of the Renaissance stuff this tour. And I know you're not familiar with the album. Real, you're a year late, but you got to make Renaissance your Jersey Summer album,
You
okay?
think so? I
Oh
was
my
thinking about that.
uh, because you're driving all the time for work and
Mhm.
you want to get pumped up, that album is so much fun. It's just a blast. So you need to start listening to it and just enjoy yourself. But if you have the opportunity, look, if you have the opportunity and the money to get to a Beyonce concert, honestly, buy the tickets at the arena the day that you go there. Get nosebleeds if you need to. It's incredible. It was like political. It was, do you know that poem by Ras Baraka? I was like, oh,
Mhm.
okay. Can't wait for him to be the new governor of New Jersey. That's amazing. It was like, I'm going to say something and you're going to totally laugh at me.
ChatGPT Plus is free for college students through May. Here's the thing. You've got a lot to do between now and then. Studying for finals, writing papers, trying to keep your life on track. And ChatGPT can help with all of it. It can quiz you for your econ exam, make a study guide from your French notes, plan out your meals and study breaks. It can get really specific on how you like to learn. It can even help you come up with ways to stop procrastinating. So from now until summer break, take advantage of all the ways ChatGPT can make your life easier. Restrictions apply.
The Cowboy Carter concert made me proud to be American.
I was gonna ask you. I'm not gonna laugh at you at that because there were a lot of American flags that were in the arena, right? If we can go back to our conversation when the Cowboy Carter album came out and we talked about it, that is something that we did talk about.
Yeah.
She is very obviously reclaiming that part of America and herself, and she is like not ashamed of it at all. Like, that's something that's happened when, like, with like progressive circles and all those things. You are embarrassed to be American. You say fuck this place sucks and all, and there are reasons why people get upset about all that stuff. That's the reason why I don't ever say fuck America, because yes, some of these things are really bad. Some of these things are really depressing. It's really depressing to see this country that has been blessed by God, if that's the type of thing that you believe. But obviously, the natural resources and all of the luxuries that we have, that this current government is the result, right?
Yeah.
That we somehow ended up here with the dumbest fucking people in charge, with the dumbest fucking voices being heard, and like a gross like misrepresentation of what made this country great, right?
Yeah.
But I think the point of Cowboy Carter and the point that Beyonce is trying to make is fuck what they tell you America should be.
Yeah.
Fuck what they tell you what the American flag should stand for. Guess what? The same American flag that you see that they parade out at military parades and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's still the same American flag that the people that were fighting for rights during the civil rights movement were walking under, right? So to
Yeah.
them, it's all included. So it's good. Yeah, it's good that you're finally American.
It made me want to go USA, USA.
You wanted to quiet Beyonce down the same
No,
way
no,
that you were.
no. I was just so like, so there's a portion of the concert where she starts to sing the Star Spangled Banner, and I found out later from the internet that was the Jimi Hendrix version of the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh,
which is obviously very important. But when that started, yeah, when she started singing the Star Spangled Banner, I was like, Beyonce, please read the room. None of us care for this song, okay? But she did that, and then it went into Freedom, right? And the end of that set was where the end of that bit was where she had that big thing on the screen that said, like, do not ask for permission for that which is already yours.
mm-hmm.
And I was like, Beyonce.
I like, by the way,
You're right. No, you're right. Like, this is ours. Like, nobody's allowed to tell us that we're not a part of this. And there's something about her and like her presence, right? Like I feel like takes up the space and the attention as an American. Like when we say like, like the stereotypical view of like an American, like yeehaw cowboy, right?
Yeah.
You associate that with a man, right?
You associate that with a man.
Okay, you definitely associate that with men. Shut the hell up. Okay.
Here's what's annoying to me. Essentially, this is what I have been telling you also for like the last 3 years.
I don't care. You're not Beyonce.
Beyonce comes out, puts a little fucking melody to it, puts some dance moves to it. It has a giant stage and 80,000 people in the crowd, and apparently you should listen to her more for some reason. She's more qualified.
But for her as like a Black woman to do this, it's just phenomenal. It's breathtaking.
It's so I love both parts of that, right? Number one is, and again, neither of us are African American.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just observing, but to watch somebody claim that part is awesome. It's just to say, hey, bitch, like, fuck you for what you think I should be claiming. I'm going to claim what I want to claim, right?
Yeah.
And to see that energy is awesome. The second part of it that is really delicious is, the number of people that get upset every time that Beyonce Levi's commercial is on, because it's an African American lady with a fantastic ass, kind of showcasing that in the within the Americana landscape, right? Yeah. And people get so fucking pissed off about it, and you just go, bitch, she deserves to own this way more than you, most likely, and you also can't do anything about it. So it's great.
Yeah, it's amazing. And also that woman is having a bunch of people who have never even looked at a fucking cowboy hat before. I mean, did you see the amount of hats at the arena? I feel like you and I were the only ones not wearing cowboy hats.
We weren't cowboyed up as much as
I
we should.
was I was denim on denim. I had a
You were
fit.
down. You were wearing a Canadian tuxedo,
I
as
was
we
wearing a
call it.
Canadian tuxedo, but there was a theme. There was tassels. You didn't see my outfit. There were tassels. There were sparkly tassels and
Oh,
the
there
whole
were.
thing.
I didn't.
There
Yeah,
were.
I'm sorry. I
It's
didn't
okay.
notice.
You didn't pay attention to me. I also had bedazzled white sneakers on. But who cares? Who's checking?
I was worried because I was wearing jeans and a shirt
Yeah.
and a jacket, and I just figured that I was maybe underdressed. I didn't know how people dress up to a Beyonce concert, and then I was walking from the parking lot to the entrance, and there were like two ladies in front of me, and one of them was just wearing chaps,
Hmm.
and it was glorious,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, I'm overdressed. I am not properly dressed for this thing. So
Yeah.
if I went back, I would. And if you're gonna go, lean into the cowboy thing. It's fun.
Yeah. I am. I think that they thought that you were like a dad chaperoning a child.
Yeah,
Probably.
that's what I look like.
Probably.
Yeah.
Um, regarding the outfits and the crowd. Okay, that's the other thing I want to talk about with this concert. Is one, Beyonce made me like proud to be an American, right? And then it also like the crowd. I've just never seen so many hot people in like different body types,
Yeah.
different races, wearing whatever the hell they wanted. I mean, security was hilariously taking forever because of the trinkets. Too many trinkets, guys. You do have to be mindful of all the belts and your spurs and your bolo tie and
There,
your
that's all
hat and your
metal.
other hat and your jacket. You got to take them all off when you go through
Yep.
security, okay? just just give yourself, just bake in some time for that. But it was just, I always say I'm a fat person, or as I tell my kids, I'm not a fat person. I have a lot of fat. Fat is not what you are, it's what you have. And I'm not, a conventionally thin person or skinny person or whatever.
Hmm.
And so I have always spoken about like my issues with my body and my body dysmorphia. And you go to a concert like this and you see the way people embrace their own bodies, and it makes you like just really proud to be in the body that you have. Like
That's the
it
thing,
was
man.
just incredible, and everybody was so creative and so happy. So happy. The other things, I was talking to Tom about this because Tom is also going tonight again.
Oh,
And there's a group of 6 of us that are maybe gonna go again tonight.
how come I wasn't invited? I would have gone again.
No, you wouldn't have.
I would have.
You can still go.
Should I?
The tickets are super cheap now.
Maybe. We'll think about it.
Let's take this offline.
Yeah.
But we were talking, and I was like, what was incredible was like getting out of the parking lot. Was like that's always like a fear of mine. Like, oh, how long is this going to take? Whatever. Getting into the arena, getting out of the parking lot. Like for you, parking was a breeze, right? Just
Yeah.
went in, parked, easy peasy, right? And I was like, I feel like I've been to football games at Giant Stadium, and it takes so long to get out.
Hmm.
And there was no honking, there was no yelling in the parking lot when everybody was leaving. And Tom was like, yeah, because people were happy. Like, people
Yep.
don't leave football games feeling like zen. They
Yep.
leave football games being like, I'm going to crush something in my hands. Like, people were leaving the stadium just being like, just so happy.
I think that's what I think when you're leaving a football game, either you're really happy, so the adrenaline is really high, and you
Yeah.
act like an idiot, or you are really upset, and then you also act like an idiot because you're sad and depressed, and you don't know how to express yourself. That's usually why leaving the parking lot of a football stadium is a nightmare. I think it just goes back to like your central point, which is who are the types of people that are coming to this concert, right? And
Yeah.
obviously, I mean, listen, you and I, we paid a shitload for these tickets.
Yeah,
So
we
it's
did.
easy to say, hey, everyone there is happy, with the understanding that you had to pay a shitload to get in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But when that was a nice thing, was how comfortable everyone just was in their skin. And I
Yeah.
think that is when you see that, like multiplied over 80,000 people,
Yeah.
that's just the energy that you get. Everyone's just comfortable in their own skin, and there are some like very like it was like the most diverse group of people that I've
Mhm.
been around, especially at that level, right? Like the other concerts I've been to have been like Bruce and
Or you're
no,
the diversity.
where I'm the diverse one. What was the last one? Yeah, when I was walking on the beach in Asbury Park, I was trying to look for a spot, and just the looks were keep walking, buddy. Seats taken.
Get out
Um,
of here,
get out of here.
ISIS.
No, that's not. Let's not listen. I Bruce is going through enough. I don't.
Guantanamo's
I don't.
that way, buddy.
Hey, listen, Bruce is going through enough. I
No,
don't
I know,
need
I know,
his
I know.
fans.
Of
Come
course, of
on.
course, of course, of course.
But no, but it really comes down to the fact that most of the people at the Bruce concert were one race,
Yeah.
right? And this was not like that. The other thing that I noticed was in terms of, I mean, I don't know how to talk about sexuality and gender and all those things, right? But I saw like more of a display of that than I've ever seen in person.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure how I would react to that also. I
Yeah.
think I told you also, like, the number of gay people that were in the crowd, and like gay men. When I think about gay men, my perception of it in like big crowds and stuff like that is different. Like, and over at the Beyonce concert, there were so many like loud and proud
Yeah.
gay men that were
Yeah.
also obviously so masculine, that were like
Yeah.
so masculine,
That would
and like
fuck you
just
up.
that would fuck me up multiple ways, right?
Yeah.
And just to be like, okay, well, like what is my, like what am I thinking, like and it's just because like this is the first time that I've been around people like this. How do I feel about it and all this? And it just I just felt comfortable because nobody there is an asshole. People are just fucking trying to live. Like this perception that people have about like flamboyance and all this other stuff about it's about attention. It's not. It's just how people
Mm-mm.
are expressing themselves. And if you don't fucking, if you don't make a big deal about it, nobody fucking gives a shit about you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was one of those things where it took me maybe like 2 minutes to kind of adjust to that. And then
Yeah.
after that, it was just the best time ever. And even like in terms of like what I find it, this is, I mean, I don't want to freak you out or anything. I turned at one point and I looked at this person,
Mm-hmm.
and they were presenting like a wayfish thin woman, I would say, like in
Mm-hmm.
terms of their outfit and everything, and even their hair or whatever, but they had a goatee,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I was just like, that is the most like fascinating person that I have seen. And I don't want it to sound like I'm like making
A
them seem like
spectacle.
other a
Yeah.
spectacle or anything like that, because it wasn't that. It's just something I've never seen before. And it was awesome to see that person like own these multiple parts of themselves and then just enjoy the concert. And obviously they're just enjoying the concert. I noticed them, but that's on me because
Yeah,
because
no,
there's
I mean
something.
that's fine. I think
Yeah.
I think what you said about like safety is really important because for
Mhm.
somebody, for queer and for queer people and also for women to be able to dress the way they want to, for them to present the way they want to and show up to a place in a crowd like this of 80,000 people and feel safe is a really big deal. And I don't think that people go to a Beyonce concert like women as a woman, I like showed up by myself first, right? I was waiting for you, but like I got there before you and I was walking through as a woman all by myself and I don't feel unsafe. Like you were asking me and our niece that's visiting, you asked like, you were saying how like as a man, it's such a privilege that you could just like go places. Like you could just show up somewhere. You could
Yeah.
just go to a place and not have to think twice about who's going to be there, what the safety is going to be. Like you can just go places
Yeah. Wear
and
whatever the fuck I want to.
wear what you want, whatever. And for women and for queer people, and especially like LGBTQ people who don't present, in the in conforming to their
Traditional.
like biological traditional gender, like it's something that they genuinely need to think about. I remember going to a gay bar in DC. Like this is like a couple of years ago. I was visiting Arthi, and there was a guy like checking ID at the door, right? And there was a person that I saw walking in that was, non-binary or trans. And so when they saw that people were asking for IDs, you could tell that that person got really uncomfortable
Mhm.
because I don't know if their ID matches, how they were presenting at that time. And I saw the relief in their face when the ID was just being checked for like age, like you just need to be 21 to walk in, right? Like
Yeah.
the guy, the bouncer at the bar just like was like, "All right, cool." And like you just saw that person's like whole demeanor change. You saw like how caged and closed off they looked before they got up to there, and then the
Yeah.
way they like bloomed when they felt like they were being accepted into a space. And that same type of like acceptance and inclusivity, you could feel that in at this concert. And I'm not saying this is like specific to Beyonce. Like I've never been to a
Yeah.
Taylor Swift concert. I don't know if that's the same experience, but
Yeah.
like at this particular concert, I was just like blown away by that level of safety that exists. And like I think that for you as a straight man, I think that is really great that you got to like be around so many types of people that you otherwise like when would you ever be around them?
Exactly. And I think it's just what it told me was just like, okay, like uh, obviously I get into like a lot of these discussions and about like I mean we don't need to get into it or whatever, but even when I am on the side of like when I'm on the progressive side in like discussions and all those things, right? When I talk about different people or whatever, it's almost just like, hey, nobody is like they're not doing anything to you. Just kind of let them live their
Yeah.
life, blah blah blah. But I think even then, like within that discussion, within that debate or whatever, there's a part of it where you're just like, well, if somebody wants to kind of be loud and like you say loud and like flamboyant and those things, right? The unsaid part of it is that this is in some ways not a serious person. Even
Mhm.
if you are on the side of the progressives, it's like, hey, they have the right to be an unserious person
Yeah.
however they want, and and that's even if you are on the progressive side, you're like, that's the right that they have.
Yeah.
Being around people, actually being around people, interacting with people, and when I say interacting, it's not anything major. It's just walking around people,
Yeah.
just like literally, just just interacting with them in that way. You say, man, like that unserious, like whatever that, even though it's something that I've never verbalized it, I think it's just something that I've kind of noticed
It's
in
your
my defense.
bias. Yeah.
Yeah, it's my bias, which is just like, hey, they're free to do whatever the fuck they want to. You don't have any right to say it. You say, well, that part of me is also fucked up. Like that
Yeah,
to
for you to say
consider.
that a person who's flamboyant or somebody
Yeah,
who's like outwardly not conforming to their gender or whatever, like they are unserious is a bias
it's a
because
bias and it's
people
fucked
can
up. Yeah,
present however they want and still be taken seriously. Like you have the
exactly.
right to show up and exist in however you want. And you know what? In the as Beyonce says, it's you can reclaim and take whatever is you don't need to ask permission to show up. You don't need to ask permission to take up space. That
Hmm.
is your right. You don't have to ask anybody to be in a space that is already yours.
Yeah,
And existing in this world and breathing the air and enjoying things and loving people and having fun is something that we all have the right to do. So,
yeah.
yeah, look at us.
Yes. Spend $2,000 on Beyonce tickets, you guys.
No, no, no,
um,
no, no, no.
I will say this about the concert is it started off the entire thing was the Cowboy Carter tour or
Yeah,
concert,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So we're going through it, and I know all the Carter songs. I'm having a great time. There's like this one, like I'm getting this idea of Beyonce as this southern country performer because she's really leaning into it, and it's
yeah.
all wonderful. And she's got cowboy hats on. People are dancing. There's lots of denim and all this other stuff. Two parts of the concert that were really really fun for me. And number one was when she went through the medley of all of her
Yeah.
old songs, and you
Yeah,
go, "Oh
yeah.
yeah, that's right. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. You are an international icon. You've been an icon for the last 20 years. You have lots of really famous songs, and I'm having a great time."
Yeah.
But then when that formation part
Ugh.
started, right? You go, or the Renaissance part. It would be Renaissance, right?
Yeah,
When
yeah,
she
yeah.
came out, and you go, "What the fuck is this? Like, this is a completely different experience." And then
Yes.
you go, "Oh, that's right. That's the reason why you're you."
Yeah. Oh,
Because you can do,
oh, that's
oh, that's
right.
right.
Yeah, exactly. And then the opera
I didn't
with
even
the
think that. Yeah, with the
light up dress. And then
crazy.
also like all of the people on stage, like all the musicians on stage were black. The dancers were incredible. You had dancers of all shapes, colors, whatever, like every kind of
Ages.
dancer, ages. Hello, Blue Ivy.
Listen, Blue Ivy, I know you're going to make a big deal about Blue Ivy. She's a star kid, all right? She's a Nepo baby, very talented. And I'm glad that we got to see her and that they gave her her own spotlight during. But the younger, like the one tap dancing
Oh,
African
the
American,
girl dancing. Yeah,
yeah,
the
I
black
need
girl
to know.
dancing. Yeah.
She is awesome. And I was just thinking, like, man, can you imagine being like, I don't know how old that girl is, probably in her teens, I would
Yeah.
guess. But like doing that on stage for Beyonce in front of 80,000 people and fucking killing it, it's awesome.
Yeah, I have to look up who the tap dancer was because she was incredible. And then also like as a young person to be able to do that, right? Like,
Hmm.
oh, what Beyonce, the woman that you are. My God. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about today. I just literally wanted to talk about Beyonce. Apparently, the Knicks won that night. We didn't watch it, but then
The Knicks one, yeah, and I got a lot of shit for it because the Knicks were down by 20 in the fourth quarter, and then they
uh-huh.
came back and they won it, and it was like a big deal. But then they lost game 4, so now they're down 3-1. It's a very good chance that they get eliminated tonight, and then we have a very boring finals, which is going to be OKC versus Indiana,
Oh,
because they're both just Midwestern teams, and they don't have as much star power.
oh.
But you should still watch it.
So it's best of 7, right?
It is best of 7, yes.
Okay, and we have 3 more games to go.
We have where it's 3-1 Pacers right now. So if
Okay,
Pacers win one more, that's it.
so
Finito.
so the Knicks just really need to fucking
They need to, yeah, they need to,
go. You know what they should do? They should go to a Beyonce concert, and then
yeah.
they should be like, you know what? I have a new zest for life. That's what I
They
think.
walk out to 16 candles. 16.
It's
And again,
it's 16 carriages,
16
and
carriages.
you know what? I'm not gonna get tickets for you tonight. You don't deserve it.
You're saying tickets for you like as if I can't buy them myself.
I'm not letting you come in. I'm gonna talk to security.
Excuse me, security.
If you see a very straight brown man in regular clothes come through here, don't let him through.
This fuck thought it was 16 candles.
How dare you? Anyway, that's it. This is going to be a little mini episode.
Mini episode because it is the middle of the workday.
It is the
I
middle of the
am
workday.
technically going from one meeting to another.
This is a meeting.
Yeah, that's true.
This is a meeting of the minds, if you will. It's something I want you to watch the space on, Raheel, is I'd like you to look at what's going on with Justin Bieber these days.
I don't want to. Man, that entire thing, I don't know. I am telling you that I am not going to do that. Listen, man, hold on. You make a kid famous at 12,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
give him all of the wealth in the world. His fucking, from what I recall, his dad is a deadbeat piece of shit, right? He becomes a sole provider for them. And then you give him access to all the money and all the drugs that he wants. You get him involved with pieces of shit like Diddy,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. And then he has all this attention from women and whatever. It fucks you up. I don't want to. I don't want to follow something that's just going to be sad. I feel like it's just going to be sad.
Okay, well, he wrote this caption for his wife, Hailey Bieber, daughter of Stephen Baldwin, I believe.
Okay.
So Hailey Bieber was on the cover of Vogue, and Justin Bieber wrote this caption when he posted the Vogue cover. He wrote, "Yo, this reminds me when Hailey and I got into a huge fight. I told Hales that she would never be on the cover of Vogue. Yikes, I know, so mean. So for some reason, because I felt disrespected, I thought I got to get even. I think as we mature, we realize that we're not helping anything by getting even. We're honestly just prolonging what we really want, which is intimacy and connection. So baby, you already know that. But forgive me for saying you wouldn't get on Vogue, get a Vogue cover, because clearly I was sadly mistaken." Real, if my husband,
Yeah.
with millions of followers, but
Yeah.
even without the millions of followers, if he ever wrote something like that,
Yeah.
there would be a murder in the streets.
They should. Well, if your husband, who grew up in Queens without notoriety and with a mother who cared for him and who understood how to
Who
love and
continues to
respect women
mother and father.
and father, who loved him and continue to love him, and a family unit that shows him the importance of a wife and all those things, and how what a true partnership is, and how you shouldn't be mean to everybody. If he wrote that, then yes, I would storm the Capitol
Capital.
with you. Yeah. We'd storm the Capitol and we'd get him kicked out of the country. I don't know
We'd
what
storm the hospital where he works.
Yeah, exactly. We just go to whatever, the
Yeah,
7th floor,
the
drag
engineering
him out.
office.
Yeah, drag him out.
And he's such a mild person. He'd be like, okay.
All right, you don't have to do this. I'll just walk out. Here's my badge. If he did that, I would understand. I don't think that you're talking about somebody that got
I know
famous at
he's
14.
unwell. He's
What
unwell.
happened? I remember George Clooney said this thing about like the age that you get famous
Mhm.
is the age that you kind of just that's just who you are.
You're stunted.
You're stunted, right? He's probably 14. That sounds like somebody like a 14-year-old quarreling with his girlfriend about getting on a Vogue cover, right? We don't need to kind of give it any attention.
I
It's just
know.
sad.
Well, Justin Bieber, get help, okay? Get some help. Hailey Bieber, leave this man, okay? She's
Hey,
never
both
gonna. She stalked him. She stalked him, and that's how she got her little claws on the
nice.
Biebs.
I like how you. This is. I like how you talk about women and how they go after men. I agree with you. Women are conniving and they're
I
manipulative.
I
And
know that I was talking about Blue Ivy being amazing, but I will never support a nepo baby.
I think they should both just go to a Beyonce concert.
I
Just
think
see how
so
it
too.
feels.
I think everybody would be happier if we just went to a Beyonce concert. Okay.
I think you should take an edible and you should just go to a Beyonce concert and then you should just ask your spouse how you feel about it. And that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. Well, I'll be back tomorrow or Saturday to talk about Bravo stuff. It's a mild week on the Bravo spaces. I did binge 10 hours of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and I immediately wanted to throw myself out of a window. But I did do an episode on it, which is out as well. So go check that out. And if you're gonna be there tonight, I'll be in the section 100. Bye.